Bill Clinton's business partner, Jim Levin, had flown to Japan, stolen Tendo Oto as a business partner, made his own agreement.
And what he had effectively done was convince Oto, instead of working with the president with me and my company, that he could work directly with the president with Levin. So that began to trigger a meltdown of the stock. The company collapsed as a result. I discovered that in the filings that Hillary's campaign filed with the FEC, they had entirely omitted any reference to any of my contributions.
The Clintons took $2 million from me and hid it.
Now, what we're looking at here is the largest election law fraud in the history of the United States.
And he told the feds that the Clinton campaign lied about it.
Don't tell everything.
And I delivered a demand letter to Hillary Clinton. We had filed the civil suit against the Clintons, which detailed all the money that I'd spent with copies of checks and invoices. And then I discovered that I was being investigated in connection with the misuse of my brokerage accounts. I was suddenly detained by Interpol in Brazil for extradition. They moved me to a remote part of this jail, which was called the Corridor of Death, in which 16 inmates had been immolated. They would be chanting, "Burn the gringo." My family wasn't able to hear from me at all. They didn't know what was happening.
And I never knew from one day to the next if he was alive or dead.
The Clintons were able to have the original civil suit thrown out on the basis of that I was a fugitive at the time.
Hillary's skill has been in seeing to it that obvious crimes didn't reach the level of being placed in front of a jury. Because if they ever had, she might have been baking cookies in the same place that Martha Stewart did.
The court held that the case should proceed to trial.
But clearly this could have implications for Mrs. Clinton's political future.
Sure, this could have serious implications not just for her 2006 re-election campaign, but for 2008, where she's the front runner for the presidential nod.
The chief of public integrity finally indicted David Rosen.
The finance director for Hillary Rodham Clinton's Senate campaign is in trouble with the law. The feds charging David Rosen with intentionally understating contributions for a Hollywood fundraising gala.
Hillary Clinton's former chief fundraiser under fire for allegations of lying about the cost of a fundraiser put together on her behalf.
The judge that officiated over the Rosen trial was appointed by the Clintons. The judge stated that Hillary had absolutely nothing whatsoever to do with that case.
The judge went out of his way, took every possible effort to make certain that everyone on that jury knew that Hillary Clinton had nothing whatever to do with what Mr. Rosen did. He turned it into a referendum on the credibility of Peter Paul, making a remark that he's a con man.
And a totally corrupt individual who couldn't be believed or trusted.
When you see that sort of thing, you conclude either that the prosecutor is incompetent, or worse, that the prosecutor is dogging the case.
The whole idea was, we have to make sure that Hillary is completely out of this, and we have to make sure that Peter Paul is totally discredited.
Senator Clinton has not been charged in the case.
The fact that you are probably not aware that this landmark litigation is now proceeding in a California court indicates how effective the Clintons have been in thwarting the media from exposing the facts on the public record that would normally end any politician's career and land them in jail.
The media have not abrogated their responsibilities uniquely in the case of Hillary Clinton. They always have a tendency to fear power and to suck up the power.
Hillary Clinton is not in the loop in any direct way.
It would be very difficult to stretch fingerprints to the senator herself.
I'd be amazed if there's any evidence directly.
The senator played absolutely no role in what happened with the campaign's finances.
So I think it's pretty clear that this is far removed from Hillary Clinton.
Now, if there's evidence, that's another matter.
You're making an accusation. Can you prove it? How can you prove it? What proof do you have?
Hillary Clinton called me in my office in July of 2000, and I started my video camera to capture a conversation that we had with myself and other people in the office.
Whatever it is you're doing, is it okay that I thank you?
I think it's tremendous. No, you know what? We're having a good time trying to help out.
Well, I'm very appreciative. It sounds fabulous. I got a full report from Kelly today when she got back and told me everything that you're doing, and it just sounds like it's going to be a great event. But I just wanted to call and personally thank all of you. I'm glad you were all together so that I could tell you how much this means to me, and it's going to mean a lot to the president, too.
Hillary Clinton called me in my office in July of 2000, and I started my video camera to capture a conversation that we had with myself and other people in the office.
Whatever it is you're doing, is it okay that I thank you?
I think it's tremendous. No, you know what? We're having a good time trying to help out.
Well, I'm very appreciative. It sounds fabulous. I got a full report from Kelly today when she got back and told me everything that you're doing, and it just sounds like it's going to be a great event. But I just wanted to call and personally thank all of you. I'm glad you were all together so that I could tell you how much this means to me, and it's going to mean a lot to the president, too.
This 5-minute videotape, which was taken in the offices of where a call was received from Hillary Clinton, but has her voice on it quite clearly, shows a number of violations of the law. First of all, it shows that she had personal involvement and personal knowledge of the details of this gala, whereas she has had her representatives in the criminal court, in the civil case, and before the FEC represent that she had no knowledge of this. So that is suborning perjury. That is obstructing justice. You hear her describing how she solicited a contribution by Cher, who was to be one of the main performers at this gala. Now, what she did there would be legal only if the services of Cher to come and sing at a concert are worth less than $2,000. Therefore, she was soliciting an illegal contribution, so that too is a violation of the law. What this tape shows is that contrary to the idea that some high-minded citizens got together and put together this gala for the benefit of the Clinton campaign, that she was directly, specifically involved in the planning of this. She says on this tape that Kelly, which means Kelly Craighead, her White House liaison, had fully briefed her, quote unquote, up to the point of the phone call, and furthermore that she would keep her informed after that. So there's the connection of the candidate to this allegedly independent program. And the FEC law is quite clear. It is a felony, punishable by up to 5 years in jail, for a candidate to be directly involved in this sort of fundraising activity if it exceeds $25,000. And the FEC found that it exceeded $1.2 million. It's crime on tape. Very simple.
What we're seeing here is a corruption of the political process, a corruption of the electoral process.
Hillary Clinton and her representatives have been able to squash investigations in all 3 branches of government.
The corruption just seems to extend to everything.
We also have the largest fraud in election funding history. We also have the only instance I'm aware of where there is an electronic recording of the candidate involved in election felonies. When citizens truly care about an issue, they sometimes have to put their lives and careers on the line for that issue, and that's what Peter Paul is doing in this case.
People will finally realize the threat posed by Hillary Clinton to this country and the rest of the world.